Hey guys, Nicole Scott here from Mobile Geeks, and here we have Sasha Pallenberg.
That's me.
And we're at the Samsung booth at CES 2014.
Actually, we're in the Samsung Smart Lounge.
Oh, the Smart Lounge, right across from the booth.
All about the details.
All about the details. So it has been a really, really busy. This is day 2?
It feels like it is months 2. Week or months 2. No, it was really busy.
Yeah.
We kind of worked the central hall yesterday.
Yeah.
Or let's say the team did this because I wasn't even there.
Yeah.
And today we've been kind of all over CES. That was quite interesting.
But my favorite of the day has to be what Corvita got up to, because she went to go see Toshiba, and they had a really good concept design.
Was that wasn't this 5-in-1?
The 5-in-1.
Wow.
They're calling it
5-in-1.
5-in-1. The shape-shifting PC.
Oh my God. It's all about the marketing, I tell you that. So no more 2-in-1s, no more 3, 4-in-1s. Now it's 5-in-1. There's always a superlative.
5-in-1s. I find it really interesting what Toshiba has done, because it really shows the need for flexibility within Windows, right? Like, what do we want to do with the form factors next to Windows? Because it's clear that Windows 8.1 wasn't the biggest success, right? It needs a little bit of work. So having more flexible more flexible hardware for kind of average software is, I think, something that I would like to see. But it's just too bad we're not going to be seeing it anytime soon.
No, we won't. And you know what? Actually, sometimes I think, is this kind of feature overflow actually something that we want? Or don't we just want to have a very straightforward, good Ultrabook or a good notebook, right? Sometimes I think, you know what? Just get rid of the touchscreen. I don't want this. I only want to have a kind of desktop version of Windows 8 that's only pointing to the desktop, and squeeze me some 12 hours of battery life in there into a device that is 11.6 inch, 1080p screen, and only weighs 1.2 or 1.3 kilograms. Just a straightforward, honest Ultrabook with lots of battery life.
See, this is where you and I differ. I love my touchscreen. I can't imagine
I can tell. It's glossy and fingerprints all over it.
I'm just eating fried chicken and touching the screen. That's pretty much what I do every single day. Fried chicken, touching the screen.
Yeah. No, well, we have to kind of figure out a way how we're going to redefine this notebook form factor. I'm getting this, right? And then Toshiba with this 5-in-1 definitely brought it to a whole new level, huh?
Yeah, no, I agree. So why don't we take a look?
Let's do that.
Hey, Corvita Raven here, and we're on the Toshiba show floor at CES, and they have a lot of things going on here. And probably one of the biggest concepts that they have, one of the most popular, is the 5-in-1 PC concept. So the first thing we have here is the laptop mode, which is very traditional. As you can see, the design is pretty slim, but different in terms of how far back the keyboard comes. Normally you would see in terms of the 2-in-1 PCs or 2-in-1 tablets where there's a hinge that happens and you're able to pull that the keyboard forward. But this is not so much the case here. So here you have your standard laptop form, which everybody knows, clamshell. Moving along, you have the presentation in TV mode, where the keyboard actually detaches for the screen to become pretty much like a separate monitor, and you're able to use the keyboard as a Bluetooth keyboard moving forward. And honestly, it's like a laptop that then becomes a bit of a mini desktop PC at the end of the day. And the last thing we have on display is the canvas mode, which is a great one for artists, actually. If you're drawing, as you can see, there's a stylus on there and display as well. But if you're drawing and just looking to do more creation, even if you're typing, this might be a good way to type if you don't want to use a keyboard as well, for the canvas mode and the 5-in-1 concept. Other two modes include the convertible tablet mode and just a regular tablet mode, where you're able to fold the hinges back a little bit more and be able to get flexibility around both the keyboard and the display for a kind of flatter, more seamless transition with the display and the keyboard. So that wraps up the Toshiba 5-in-1 concept, and I am Corvita Raven, drooling over it at CES.
Wow, that was quite something.
No, for sure, and it makes me excited for the future, and it's sometimes hard to forget that maybe we're not going to see just yet another clamshell, right?
Well, they're all clamshell. Actually, what's kind of interesting, Toshiba was the inventor of the clamshell, pretty much.
Right.
I think before that we had these kind of Osborns with this huge PC with a small little 5-inch screen or 6-7-inch screen in the middle, and then this keyboard that you were kind of also using as a protection lid for it. And then Toshiba came up like 30 years ago or so with this clamshell design. It is still a clamshell world in the ultrabook notebook world.
Yeah, I agree.
But there are quite some interesting platforms out there that we saw during CES, and I think you have a favorite already.
Well, I like the Sony 11A, the Fit 11A.
Okay.
That's a Bay Trail one, so it's technically not. I guess, is it an ultrabook? Is it not an ultrabook? But it's an ultra thin. It's super. It's really thin.
Yeah.
It's really. Can an ultrabook have a Bay Trail processor?
I don't even know.
But if we forget about the marketing, and just go with like a really, really nicely designed PC or laptop, I think that Sony's making some excellent stuff. You're a total Sony fanboy.
I still am. Actually, I just met with the Sony guys again and told them that my Sony Vaio Z is still getting repaired because I dropped it on the concrete. Sometimes I'm doing these things. But I've been carrying it around with me for 2 years, and it survived with me for 2 years, more or less, let's say. What I liked over here at CES, well, you have the Yoga 2 Pro.
Yeah, obviously I'm a huge Lenovo fan. The Yoga 2 Pro is my working horse right now, but we're just...
I have a problem with the resolution of this display. It is just too much. Anything that goes above, I would say 1080p. It's just too much for me. And it's so hard to see anything on your desktop. I don't know how you're doing this.
Well, and also if Windows 8 was better at dealing with the scaling issues, then maybe I would be on board. But right now, the amazing displays just seem like a big pain in the ass.
And therefore, Lenovo launched the Lenovo Yoga 2 without the Pro. 1080p, basically the same concept. I think it was even a little bit, was it thinner or was it thicker? Well, it might have been thinner, it might have been thicker, so it looks a little bit different. And you're getting the same performance in it, but without this display, which in my opinion makes sense. And it's starting at, I think, $999.
$999. Yeah, no, it's
That's a great 13-inch.
Yeah. So why don't we check out a bunch of our favorite ultrabooks from the show?
Hey, I'm Roland with Mobile Geeks, and we're right here at the Intel booth at CES 2014. And what we have right here is the new Vaio Fit 11A. So that's basically an Intel Bay Trail based convertible. So what you can do is actually you unlock it. There's a switch back here where you lock the device, and there's magnets in this cover back here. So you can actually fold it like this. There's a nice mechanism on here, like on the bigger 2-in-1 devices from Sony. So when you want to convert it to tablet mode, you just unlock it and fold it down like this. And what you end up with is a device that you can actually carry around. It weighs just above 1 kilogram, I would think. It feels pretty light for a device of this size. It has an 11.6-inch Full HD screen, and it's based on an Intel Pentium N3520 Bay Trail based quad-core CPU. So this one actually runs at up to 2.16 gigahertz. This one actually has 8 gigs of RAM in here and a 256 gigabyte SSD. Let's just move back to the standard mode so I can show you around the device. Just click this in here, lock it, and then you're all set. The display actually folds back pretty far, so you won't have any problems reading on a desktop. And let's take a quick look around. We have the power button back here, full-size HDMI, so you can connect it to any HDTV or HDMI compatible display without using an adapter. You have 2 USB 3.0 full-size ports right here, combined headset and mic jack. This is a speaker outlet actually. On the front you get the power LED and the battery status LED, nothing else. On the left there's another speaker outlet here. That's a full-size SD card reader. This actually looks like a fan vent. I don't know if there's actually an active fan in there, but at 2.16 gigahertz, the new Pentium N325020 should actually have some smaller heat issues without any fans. Back here we have a proprietary Sony power plug, so you won't charge this through micro USB, but through a special charger. On the bottom, you actually get another webcam. I don't know the resolution of this, but this would probably be 720p up to like 5 megapixel or whatever. There's rubber feet up here, so you don't have the device slipping around on your table. Down here we have an NFC logo, so this thing is actually NFC enabled, and you can connect devices to it via NFC. Let's take a quick look at this mechanism back up here. So it clicks in like this with magnets, and then you can just fold it down and be ready to move. This thing is actually coming out in the first quarter for $799 US. In the base configurations, I don't know what this one is going to cost, because this is really the high-end version. So I was rolling with Mobile Geeks, checking out the new Vario Fit 11A at CES 2014. Thank you.
Corvita Raven here with Mobile Geeks, and we are live at on CES shore floor at the Toshiba booth. And now we're going to check out the Toshiba Kira book, which you guys have upgraded and kind of enhanced.
Exactly. We've updated the Kira book. Kira is our premium Ultrabook. It was the first Ultrabook on the market with that super high resolution display, and we've made it even better now by moving to 4th generation Haswell processor, as well as by lowering the price. So now these are available for $14.99 with that Haswell processor, that super high resolution display, 256 gigs of solid state storage in there. You get some great things in the hardware here, including things like the stereo speakers on the bottom of the machine, which bounce off your table to give you great sound from a small size. Full-size HDMI, multiple USB 3.0 ports, as well as a 2-year platinum service plan. So we actually have enhanced service plans if you ever have any difficulty with the machine, as well as 2 years of the Norton services, anti-theft, internet protection. All of that is included with that unit.
Cool.
And
so
it
this
is
also has the standard SD card.
Yep.
SD card slot, mic, headphone and mic jack over here as well, and another USB port on the side. And again, that nice kind of brushed aluminum.
Yep. This one, in this case, it's a magnesium alloy chassis, which is the material we've been working with for well over 10 years in ultra portables. That's really lightweight and really durable. And it helps us keep the machine down as low as under 3 pounds.
Awesome. And what version of Windows is this running?
We are running Windows 8.1 on the new version.
Cool. Full-size keyboard, backlit keyboard as well.
Exactly. Kira is really about that luxury experience, that premium experience with an Ultrabook, and giving you that best possible experience on there.
Hey, Corvita Raven here from Mobile Geeks, and we are about to take a look at a 4K laptop, Satellite P50T.
Correct.
From Toshiba. Bill, why don't you tell us a little bit about this in terms of the 4K display?
Absolutely. We've seen 4K TVs for a while, but now we wanted to bring it to laptops. That's going to be great for watching movies in 4K on your laptop. It's great for working with digital pictures if you take a lot of high-resolution pictures, and it just gives you a fantastic text experience. So the text on a page is sharper than ever before. Even when you are looking at really small size text, it is really sharp and crisp. So it gives you a great high-resolution experience. Of course, with anytime you go to higher resolution, if you want, you get more screen real estate as well. So you can also see a lot more columns in Excel, a lot more rows, can have more apps side by side, so it's a great productivity enhancement as well.
Nice. And what about the performance?
The performance, we are going to be using 4th generation Intel processors. We'll be using a high performance graphics card in there. We're still working on the final specs, but we expect to have this product out later this year, probably sometime in the summer.
And how much do you think it'll be priced?
We're still working on the final pricing, working with final specs and our partners. But it is real exciting to just have that technology now coming to laptops.
They're full AutoCAD certified, full SolidWorks certified.
As you see in this design, we're showing, of course, full-size HDMI. You've got a couple of USB 3.0 ports there, microphone and headphone jack. And the mic jack actually does something we call sleep in music. So even when the laptop is turned off, you could plug in your MP3 player or phone or whatever and play music out through the Harbin card and speakers on the laptop, which is real cool. Full-size SD card slot, because we know you want to move data between your devices. 2 more USB 3.0 devices, as well as Blu-ray drives, so we can certainly include all those different technologies in there to give you that real high-performance solution. And you do get your wired Ethernet as well. which especially when you're dealing with high resolution video and moving a lot of content and doing high performance stuff, it's real nice to have that option.
You guys take a different approach here. This is more of a brushed aluminum rather than a textured backs that I see on the other.
Exactly. This gets you that full actual metal on there, which gives it that real nice, sleek and clean look.
Very nice. Not that bad. It's a little obviously on the heavy side because it is a bigger model, but it's not that bad for its size and the performance. And that is a look at Toshiba's Ultra HD 4K laptops. I'm Corvita Raven signing out with Mobile Geeks.
What another, was it a star of the show, or was it something that we would predict? Well,
at
the
least
CEO is definitely a star. He's not the CEO, he's the chairman of ASUS, Johnny Shi. He's always a star.
Huge crush.
And all this for $99. Thank you.
You guys have not
you.
watched
Thank you.
a ASUS press conference,
I love him.
go onto our
I love him.
channel. We upload all of them for many years.
Who's calling me?
Who's calling me? He is just an
we love it.
entertainer.
He's an entertainer. He's a
A
character.
straight
Yeah,
entertainer.
I absolutely love him.
And let's actually talk about ASUS for a minute.
Yeah.
ASUS is one of the only companies in tech that really gets me excited for innovation.
Yeah.
Right. That are bringing products to market that no one else has the balls to.
Yeah.
Right. And they're in Taiwan, so they're right in our backyard. Another reason to love them.
Yeah, let's get this very straight. This ASUS Zenfone 4 for $99 again, $99. The 5 for $149. The 6-inch for $199. These are such disruptive devices. First of all, it's the very first smartphone from a premium OEM that goes below $100. That is just absolutely amazing. The build quality is great, the design is great, the colors are great, the performance is good. It's just stunning to see that this is coming from a company like ASUS. And then we have the 149 if you need a little bigger screen, a little bit more horsepower. And then for $199, a 6-inch beautiful phablet. So, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It tells you also a little bit about the smartphone market, the Android smartphone market in general. So we will see a huge price fight in this category below $200. That's the next battleground.
And the hardware.
And the hardware.
It's running Intel.
Well, it's an Intel SoC in there.
It's an Intel SoC.
It's not built on an ARM architecture.
Yeah.
It's an x86 in there. And now we can just speculate. Is it subsidized somehow? I don't think so anymore, right?
Yeah,
I think
because
they
you
are
can't.
capable of building these SoCs at a very, very competitive price point.
That's really interesting that ASUS is really the company that's pushing this forward. They're the company that broke the mold on the argument against x86 versus ARM.
Yeah.
And that ARM architecture was always going to win because it was cheaper, right? And they couldn't have this price fight. And now it's here, and at a $99 smartphone by a premium OEM.
Yeah.
It's interesting news here at CES.
Well, let's face it, there are a bunch of benchmarks where it's just driving circles around some ARM architectures that are out there. And again, we're talking about platforms that cost below $200. This is, oh my God, the game is on. I like that. I want to see more competition. I'm just sick and tired constantly reviewing the same architectures. I'm also in the same way sick and tired of constantly reviewing the same architectures in the notebook space, right?
Yeah.
We need some more competition. We need like different technologies in there and different angles on it. That's why I also have to admit that I love Chromebooks, right? This is somehow different. But let's talk about Android again, and let's go back to ASUS, because I think what the Transformer book Duet.
The Duet. Most exciting product of the show, full stop. Full stop. For me, just the imagination that it created in my mind. I mean, we've already seen this dual OS with the Trio, right?
Yeah.
Which never came to market, or it did, but I couldn't find it for sale in Taiwan.
Some
even though
people got a hold of it.
Some people got a hold of it, not us.
Some
but.
say that they are out there.
So, like, it's not a new idea that I'm inspired by, a Windows and Android dual boot operating system.
Yeah.
But when you see the Duet, it kind of made me think, like, what kind of applications could be built right? What kind of ecosystem can you create with 2 operating systems on one device? I mean, as a developer, you look at it and you go, well, if I'm targeting this kind of new ecosystem and I build for Android, then I don't just have to consider the Android ecosystem, you have to consider how that app is going to compete against an app that exists within the Metro UI in Windows or the desktop UI in Windows, right? And how is this going to fit in, right? So how exactly do you target that when you have basically 3 different platforms to deal with in one system? It's exciting, right? And I don't have any answers for that, and I feel like the developer who comes up with that first is gonna win the big prize.
It's not only exciting, it's pretty much a big challenge for not only for the OEMs that are building these devices, for somehow, can I say that, even a challenge for Microsoft?
A huge, they have the most to lose. And I love that they're completely silent. There's no commentary at all about this, this announcement here at CES.
I'm not sure if Microsoft is happy about this. We saw this already, again, with the Trio. We also saw this with the Samsung Artiv Q. They also had this. Well, listen, Microsoft, you know what? You can just change this. It's that simple. You just need to make sure that finally Windows 8 or 8.1 is getting positioned in a proper way, that people are getting educated about it, and that you finally excite developers creating tablet applications for the Metro UI, the modern UI. Right? And we are Windows users, right?
Yeah.
We're not haters.
Yeah.
We're not ranting about your operating system because we hate it. No, we don't. We actually really like this. The problem is Windows 8 and 8.1 still wasn't capable of finally making this transition. This merger in between mobile and the traditional desktop, it's not there. It looked like, it's like an empty, I don't know, it's like a weird hybrid that we have right now.
It's completely segmented.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's 2 things that live in the same house, but they don't talk to each other, right?
Yeah.
It's like a bad marriage, right? But the thing that I need Microsoft to do is come up as an alternative, because when you look at Android and you look at Apple, when I'm making, say, tablet recommendations, right? So Samsung actually had their Galaxy Tab Pro, which I think is a really good large form factor tablet for business and productivity, right? Samsung has done a good job at creating, different ecosystems within it with their own customized software. But the thing is, when I'm giving recommendations, then I have to choose between the Air. You either give all of your data to, or exist in a walled garden for Apple, or you're giving all of your data to Google. Right? And Microsoft has the opportunity to come up as a third player where your data is somewhat
Or with
safe.
Microsoft.
Or with Microsoft. Or with Microsoft.
I'm not sure about the safe thing. It's just somewhere else.
It's
right?
just somewhere else.
Your data isn't lost, just someone else has it. Always keep that in mind. Yeah, I agree. It's this alternative. It's kind of weird that we are saying, Microsoft could be the alternative. We're not saying Android or iOS can be the alternative, right? We already turn it around.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit scary. And once again, we love to use Windows. We switched over to Windows desktops now in our office. Actually, when Nicole is coming back, she can see her new desktop that I arranged.
And I fought this. I fought this desktop transition with pretty much he's like, just get up, I'm installing a system at your desk. And I was like, but I'm gonna lose touch with mobile. I mean, I see now the necessary place of desktop in the mobile ecosystem, right? I see how we're leapfrogging our purchases through mobile and through laptop, and that having a desktop is like creating a private cloud and having an anchor point for all the rest of your technology, right? So I am totally back on board, but I think I am more back on board with like the Nook, right? Intel's next unit of computing or whatever the Gigabyte Bricks was built on.
Well, we're using also a Bricks Pro over here on the shelf.
Yeah, we have a Bricks that we're editing these long form factor segments on.
The long form factor.
The long form factor. We're going the long way.
That sounds like you. That sounds like something from this this AVN show.
Oh my God. That's not what I was thinking.
Do you have more of this long form factor segment here for this award show? No, I hear you. It is interesting to see devices like the Duet, like the Trio, like the Ative Q from Samsung, the Sony. Oh my God! Wait! The Sony slider
Oh yeah.
could also do
yeah.
this, right? It could also switch over to it. Could it?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't.
Not?
Oh,
Sony
that's
also
something we
have-
have to look up. I don't think Sony came out with one.
Maybe I completely screwed this one up.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
So
I think they might have, yeah.
Yeah. I think,
Not,
but they launched it already
yeah.
last summer.
Yeah,
Right.
a while ago.
So, once again, listen, Microsoft, this is happening, right? This is happening in your front yard, right? All little green robots are coming over onto your lawn. They're just
They're coming to get you.
they're coming to get
They're
you.
coming to
Please,
get
please
you.
just do something. And we are happy to promote you as soon as it's cool.
Yeah.
Right? We're gonna love it, and we're gonna let everybody know about it.
But I'm really glad that Intel is doing this,
Yeah.
right? I'm really happy that Intel is making this move of bringing Microsoft and Android together, right? I mean, there's I don't know anybody who would take on Microsoft, right? Who else could do it,
Right.
right?
You need to have a hardware platform that is going to create this merger. And you
Yeah.
need to have someone who's promoting this, and Intel is doing this, bringing x86 into the mobile world. It was just crucial for competition on this market because, who's left? Yeah, we have Apple with processors. Let's say, when we're talking about the high-end market, we have Apple with the A7, we have Qualcomm Snapdragon 805 over here, we have Samsung new Exynos 5250, we have the MediaTek guys with Cortex A7 octa-cores, we have Rockchip still around, but that's about it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we have NVIDIA with the Tegra K1 that I can't see in the
And
tablet at all.
Qualcomm, yeah.
It's not happening. So this is going automotive. So basically we have and when we're talking about market share,
Yeah.
that's a whole different game. Then it's basically Apple A something, Qualcomm Snapdragon, and some Exynos devices from Samsung in the Western markets. That's basically it.
But if you look at Qualcomm would be actually the perfect company as well to go ahead and do this. I mean, they had their SmartBook a couple of years ago, right? So Qualcomm's been pretty active in.
But they can only run Windows RT, and who wants to use Windows RT? Let's face it, no one wants to do it.
Yeah, but the thing, they can only, no, there's actually no technical limitation why Snapdragon can't run full Windows.
Oh, I agree with you.
There's no technical limitation on why this can't happen.
So
it's more just like Intel, I think, is the biggest company that could do this. It can't really be Qualcomm. They're not big enough, right, to take on Microsoft.
I think Qualcomm is big enough.
To take on Microsoft?
She's just sponsoring an FIA Formula Racing Series,
Listen,
by the way.
Just because they're sponsoring a Formula One racing series.
Formula E.
A Formula E racing series. I don't think, there's very few companies, I think, that have the market share, the leverage, and the position that could actually push forward.
Qualcomm is one.
Qualcomm is one?
Qualcomm belongs to them.
Qualcomm belongs to them?
Qualcomm is almost as big as Intel, let's face it. Anyways, we've been talking about the Duet for the whole time.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm sorry, guys. And
Yeah.
actually, we wanted to show you the Duet. How about taking a look at it?
Yeah.
Hey, Andrew here for tabletblog.de. I'm still at ASUS and now we want to take a closer look at the new ASUS Transformer Book Duet TD300. It's a new Ultrabook convertible, however you want to call it, and it's actually quite interesting because it runs Android and Windows 8.1. So it has specs like a normal Ultrabook. Inside is an Intel Core i3, i5 or i7 processor, as well as 4 GB of memory and 64 or 128 GB SSD. But inside the dock there's actual real hard drive, not an SSD, a normal hard drive. And you can get that with 320, 500, 750 or 1 terabyte. So you've got quite some options, and if you go very high, I'm sure you will pay quite a lot for this design. So let's quickly go around the device. This is a 13.3-inch display. The resolution is 1366 by 768, so it's not full HD, but 720p at least. Then we've got a webcam here on the top, nothing else. And if we go to the side here, we've got nothing. And on the bottom, we've got a Windows button. Then the ports for the keyboard dock. Then we've got here the power plug, a headset port, and nothing here. Then on the top we've got a couple of fans because we've got a Core i processor inside. Then we've got a power button, a rocker switch for the volume, and nothing on the other side, and no camera on the back. I mean, you don't need it with a 13.3-inch device. It's actually quite heavy in one hand, but with those specs it couldn't be much lighter. So let's go around the keyboard dock. As you've seen, we've got no USB ports on the tablet itself, but we've got a USB 2.0 on this side and a USB 3.0 port on the other side. There's also an Ethernet connector, a power plug, and an HDMI out. Nothing on the back. It's a standard chiclet keyboard that we know from other Ultrabooks from Asus, and there we've got a little Android key to switch between the operating systems. Okay, this is a quick hands-on with the Asus Transformer Book Duet TD300. I'm Andrzej for tabletblog.de. Thanks for watching.
Hey guys, Sasha from Mobile Geeks here. We're taking a very first look at the new Asus Zenfone 4, which is an amazingly inexpensive smartphone from Asus that they just launched over here at CES 2014. It's based on the Intel Atom Z2520, so that's an x86 dual-core processor, and it starts at $99 US. Weighs only 150 grams. You can tell right away when you're holding it in your hands. It's just so light. And in terms of how thin it is, it's in between 6.3 and 11.2 millimeters. You can see it's a little bit curved on the back, which makes it really feel good in your hands. Besides that, it's coming with 1 GB of RAM and has 4 GB of internal storage that you can upgrade with a micro SD card. It's based on Android Jelly Bean 4.3 and will get an Android 4.4 update very, very soon. At least that's what they're stating here. And it's also using the Asus Zen UI, which is a customization of Android, but you know what, actually without really screwing the almost vanilla experience of it up. There's a 5 megapixel camera on the back, and there's an 0.3 megapixel camera on the front, and it has an 1170 milliampere hour battery. Can't tell you anything about the battery life. It comes in black, white, red, blue, and yellow. Actually, you can see it over here in the back. Oh no, well, almost. These are the accessories, of course. Let's take a quick look around the device. I would guess that the micro SD card, not the micro SD card, the micro USB connector is here on the left side. There's nothing on the bottom. We have a volume rocker on the right, a power button on the right, and a headset jack on the top of it. And you can see this Intel Inside logo on the back. So it's quite impressive to see that Asus is launching this amazingly inexpensive line of new smartphones. They're all called the Zenfone. This is the Asus Zenfone 4, the Asus Zenfone 5, a very inexpensive 5-inch smartphone, which starts at $149 US. It's based on the Intel Atom Z2580. It's dual-core 2 GHz x86 processor, and it's running Android Jelly Bean 4.3. It comes with 1 GB of RAM and has 4, 8, or 16 GB of internal storage that you can also upgrade with a micro SD card. Let's take a quick look around the device, which comes again with a 5-inch display, 720p is the resolution. There's nothing here on the left side. We have a micro USB on the bottom. There's a volume rocker, a power button here, a jack for your headset, and a microphone here on the top. and then there's a camera on the back, which is an 8 megapixel one using the ASUS Pixel Master technology, while they're using a 2 megapixel camera on the front. It only weighs 144 grams, which is like feels super light. And you know what I also love is you can see these concentric circles here on the front a little bit. So this is ASUS design. Besides that, in terms of how thin it is, it's kind of hard to tell because they're saying in between 5.5 and 10.3 millimeters. So you can see it's kind of curved on the back, you know what, which feels really, really good. Let's take a quick look around their system here, because they kind of optimize it. They call it now Zen UI, which is like a new customization of Android. And we always know that we knew that ASUS wasn't really messing around with Android. They had a very, very clean interface. You know what, I love the quick settings here. You can see right away. Let me just switch to the other settings and let's just double check it. Yes, this is Android 4.3. It is kind of iconic ASUS weather widget here. And besides that, it feels pretty much almost like a vanilla experience of Android. And as you can tell, it is blazingly fast. Once again, this is $149. I would guess for the 4 gigabyte version, and then you should kind of expect that the 8 gigabyte will be $179, and the 16 maybe $199 or $229. So this is a quick and dirty look at the new ASUS Zenfone 5 and the ASUS Zenfone 6. That's a nice new tablet that they just announced over here, and I think this is also not only based on the Intel Atom Z2580, because compared to the Zenfone 5 and the Zenfone 4, which are using the 2520, this is using the 2580. That means you're getting a dual core with 2 gigahertz clock speed. It has 1 or 2 gigabytes of RAM, depending on which version you're getting, 8 or 16 gigabytes of internal storage that you can also upgrade with a micro SD card. It's based on Android 4.3, and they're using the so-called Zen UI. So this is a customized version from ASUS, but still, you know, they're not really messing around with it. It's still very clean and almost like an Android vanilla experience, as you can see over here. Well, unfortunately, this one didn't really work that well now. I don't know who was playing around with it earlier. Here we go, finally. It's just very fast, right? And let's just go back here. Oh, here we go. So let's take a quick look around the device, which also sports. This should be a 2 megapixel camera on the front, and there's a 13 megapixel camera on the back, which is using ASUS Pixel Master technology. You know what, let's actually just check this out, because it should also come with this nice little burst mode. Saw that? Woohoo! Well, I guess I'm still kind of shaking, right? Anyways, let's take a quick look around this. There's almost nothing here on the left side. There's a micro USB connector on the bottom, power button on the right side, volume rocker on the right side. There's a headset connector on the top, microphone here. That's a 13 megapixel camera on the back. What about the battery in there? They say it's a 3230 milliampere hour battery at 3.75 watt voltage or ampere voltage. It's offering you like 12 to 13 watt hours. So this should be good to easily get you through the whole day. It's also very light, well, compared or in relation to how big it is. This is like 200 grams, and it's in between 5.5 and 9.9 millimeters thin. As you can see, it's also curved, which feels very comfortable when you're holding it in your hand. In general, I think, you know what, ASUS absolutely killed it with it. Once again, the pricing, I think this one was $199, wasn't it, James? What was the pricing for this one? $199? $199?
Yes.
Okay, so $199 US, and I think this is very competitive for a 6-inch tablet. By the way, last but not least, I should maybe also let you know about the resolution. So this is a 720p device. It's not 1080p, but somehow they really have to justify this price point. But once again, I've never seen a tablet of this build, quality for this price point. So if you can sacrifice a little bit in terms of the PPI here, going to a 720p display, I think you're getting an amazing device for this price. $199 for the ASUS Zenfone 6. I'm Sasha from Mobile Geeks. Thanks for watching. So guys, this was I forgot about it.
This is day two.
Day
Our
two.
brains
Day
are
two.
totally fried. If you guys could see the show floor, you would understand why we might die right now. We might die. We might just die.
We still have 2 more days.
We still have 2 more days.
So tomorrow, I think we're going absolutely ballistic on automotive.
Yeah, we're going all in on cars. There's been a lot of really interesting car announcements. And if you're looking at the future of mobile, it's the car.
If you live in Las Vegas, you better stay home tomorrow, I tell you that. Because you might even going to drive around. No, I'm not sure. Or at least wear your safety helmet then. Right? Or use the public transport system. Don't go out on the streets.
Don't
No,
do it.
seriously, the North Hall over here is just packed with car manufacturers. We have Ford, we have Chevrolet, we have Toyota, we have Mercedes, Audi, BMW, they're all there. You also have all kind of accessory makers. Tuning and connected cars, QNX, very interesting. These guys with decades of experience and a history of embedded Linux system in an automotive environment. They've been showing us an amazing dashboard. I'm absolutely in love with it. Plus it's open, which is crucial for the automotive sector. We're going to talk a little bit about this new Open Car Alliance. Oh, I forgot about this already.
Yeah, I think it's the Open Alliance.
What Google started, and what kind of manufacturers might join, what manufacturers might not join.
Mm-hmm.
That might be quite a topic tomorrow. And therefore, Well, do you have anything left to say? Or did I just completely talk over you?
No, but I need to get a drink, so we may just wrap this up. It's Las Vegas after all, right?
It is. We are going to a show tonight, by the way.
We're going to see Absinthe.
Yeah, I might even going to have one after this.
It's the steampunk Cirque du Soleil. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Are you
why
jealous? Are you guys jealous in there?
That's why I'm wearing the glasses. The glasses. I'm wearing glasses anyways.
So make sure you come back to tomorrow to check out our huge automotive section. The manufacturers have made it really clear that they're aggressive into tech, right? And that they're looking to partner and pair, and it's not just with our phones and each other, but with developers and the consumer. It's actually refreshing to see the way that they're kind of approaching things a little bit differently this year. And it's exciting. It's an exciting moment in tech.
It's going to be day 3. Thank you so much for watching and supporting us throughout the CES, and especially day 2 right now. This is Nicole Scott.
This is Sasha Pollenberg.
Thanks for watching.